This was my most anticipated, second most anticipated film of the year. This is the man that brought us greats like Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill, and Django! Do I see this poster with this text?
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
This film was interesting, and to summarise what I think, I want to talk about Abzu. Yes, that Abzu. Just bear with me a second. So, I played Abzu recently, and it does a fantastic job of sucking you into the world. But after I'd finished it, I struggled to remember the whole narrative spine that held everything together. That's the best way to summarise this film before I dive into the details. This film is a masterclass in world building. I was sucked into the 60s from minute one, and I stayed there long after the film was over. Los Angeles was recreated to a fault, and all of this was topped off with a fantastic soundtrack. When it comes to setting, this is Tarantino at his best. Furthering the world building are the people who inhabit this world: Rick, Cliff, and Sharon. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are the heart of this film. They have some of the best chemistry I've seen on screen all year, and I can truly believe that they are friends over being co-workers. Both of them felt like real people, with hopes and dreams and pasts and regrets. You felt along with them that Hollywood was dying, and that golden age was over. Seeing them succeed was gratifying, and I really felt bad when things didn't go their way. So far this year, these guys are my favourite original characters. Complementing our two leads was Margot Robbie. She's had some interesting roles in the past few years. Here, she's fantastic. She was a great foil to Rick and Cliff, despite sharing very few scenes with them. Whereas Rick's scenes were getting me very emotional and Cliff's were keeping me wondering, Sharon's were full of wonder. I was always smiling when she was on screen, and honestly, it was wonderful. She had a wondrous addition to this film and had far and away my favourite scene in the film. Stay tuned for the spoiler section to hear more about that. It doesn't end there though. The supporting cast is a wonder too. For a movie all about Hollywood, everyone here was surprisingly real. I know about all of these characters, and I feel connected to them. This is very important to me, because as a movie reviewer on YouTube, I can't have any friends. The writing and action is more of what you love if you love Tarantino. The characters are written well, and exposition about them is worked into conversations and jokes with ease. The action is less and more. There's not a lot of it, and it's not too far from reality when it happens. If you're looking for blood, you will get it, but you will have to wait until the climax. There is one major thing that holds this movie back, and it sort of acts as a balance to the best thing about this film. Watching this film is like watching reality TV, except it's f***ing god tier. You follow the characters throughout their days, and whilst you learn about them to an astonishing degree, lives don't have narrative arcs. The film does feel like it meanders a little, and whilst it still is interesting, don't expect a Nolan-style, sprawling storyline. I went to see this film with my girlfriend, and whilst I was suckered into the world, she was looking for a narrative. Now, when we left the cinema, and my girlfriend, who is the biggest Tarantino fan I've met, and wouldn't stop talking about this film all year, turned to me and said, I didn't like it. That hit me. If you're like me, and you're going into this film for the world building, you're gonna have the time of your life. But, if you're like my girlfriend, and want a little more narrative coherence, you're not going to find that here. Look at that. I'm already getting into the end of the video, and I haven't even talked spoilers. I mean, what is this, amateur hour? There were 3 scenes I really want to talk about because they made me feel things. Skip to this time if you're allergic to spoilers and feelings. The first one is Rick's breakdown scene, and subsequent nailing of his scene afterwards. The scene defined Rick as a character. He does have it, but seeing him break down was honestly heartbreaking. Although we did get the greatest joke of the film in the whole I'm never gonna drink again, sips the whiskey. On the flip side, there was a scene that made me smile more than anything else this year. Sharon watching the wrecking crew to see how people saw it was my favourite scene in the film. There's a big difference between major motion pictures and the dumb reviews I make on the internet, but I felt that worry that Sharon did in this scene. When you make something, you want people to like it. I mean, like, I want you guys to like stuff I put out, so you hit subscribe and tell your friends and whatever. But seeing people enjoy Sharon's film was such a heartwarming moment. And in a film about the good old days being gone, It was so nice to see someone finding solace in her creations. Also, using actual clips of Sharon Tate in the film was such a wonderful detail. I actually found that out whilst researching this film after I saw it, because like Dark Souls, I experienced it, but I didn't get it. The final scene I want to talk about is Spawn Ranch. Now, as I was just saying, I didn't know anything about the Sharon Tate murders before seeing this film, but Jesus Christ!
I don't know, this whole situation, Harrington, I don't know. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
This movie went from Once Upon a Time to freaking horror movie in one scene. Cliff visiting the Manson house was hair-raisingly tense, despite knowing none of the context. Overall, this film will be divisive. To best enjoy this film, go in for the world and the characters. Let yourself just fall into the world and take it all in for 3 hours. There is a narrative here if you dig straight down, but you shouldn't. Come on guys, it's rule number 1, seriously. Leo, Brad, and Margot are at the top of their game here, and if you're looking for some true escapism this year, Hollywood is where you need to go. Thank you for watching my video. If you made it to the end, why not consider subscribing? Shout out to my girlfriend who redid the entire channel art. She did all the channel art, the logo, the thumbnails. So please let us know what you think of that in the comments. The next review will either be Lion King or Dora. I'm leaning more towards Dora, but I haven't decided yet.